Oh, okay. Now I hope it is working. Let me check. Yeah. Okay, okay. It's working now. All right. Thank you for informing me. Yeah. So as I was saying, in today's workshop, we're going to be painting on a t-shirt, and in this workshop, I will show you how we go about it, what materials I'm going to use, and some tips and tricks, if at all needed for some confusing areas. So to start off, I'm using a piece of cardboard in here. This will be not only to frame the picture or to use it as a frame for the painting, but I will also be using this cardboard so that the paint from the front, sorry, from this side doesn't go to the back side of the t-shirt. Yeah, and also I was saying that I have an announcement to make, which I will be telling you at the end of the workshop. And I haven't done an announcement like this before, so it's a first. So stay until the end to get to know what exactly it is. Okay, I'll just put this here. Okay, make sure it is straight. All right, now what I will do is I will take my pencil, and I think within this, so I'll just draw a line here with the pencil for where I want the painting to be in. This is cotton stuff. Also, I'm painting on a cotton shirt. You can paint on any sort of material, but right now the shirt I'm using is cotton. Yeah, so I will be painting inside this square. I'll just lift this up so you can see the line. Okay. Now before I start painting, what I will do is I will just flip the shirt inside here like that. Same thing this side, so that the frame is set properly. Same thing over here. I will just tuck it inside, and I'll keep it a little tight so that what I want to paint doesn't really move, and I have the frame set quite right, like this. And just make sure you fold it nicely and a little tight. Okay, we already drew an outline, so I'm just going to place this according to that. Yes, you can use clutches as well, or you even get board clips which you can use. But right now I'm doing it this way so that the ones who do not have such things at home, you can jugad, or even you can use what do you say? Okay. I think there might be a bit of a background noise. So just for 5-10 minutes, we'll have to keep it this way. Okay. So am I audible now? The voice must be a little different, but let's keep it. Show my tattoo. Okay. This is my tattoo. Yeah. So, yeah, that is supposed to be me with my bird. It was cockatiel. And this is just a design that I like. It's supposed to show, so it's a lady showing, movement with her hands. But instead of making the movement a little subtle, it looks more like 4 hands, which gives a pretty cool look to it. Hope you liked the tattoo. Okay, so over here, I will draw the character here. Okay. And then I will just start by placing the body so that I can compose it inside of this entire frame. And then here as well, make this a little bigger, just like this. And then the same thing this side, just like that. And then from here, what we can do is let's take it from this side. Okay, we'll just manage for 2 more minutes and then I'll switch the audio. Okay. Yeah, okay, I think this should be much better. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm having some battery issues with the mic. Okay, so I think this should be much better. Okay, and now over here, I'll draw the head. Okay, great. I'll draw the head here. And then I can have the hair just like that. So now this is a stylized drawing, so we're not going for very realistic proportions. We're going for more of the visual appeal. Okay, and now from right below the necklace, if in case the audio goes off in between, just let me know. I'll bring this down. Yeah, that much should be okay. Same thing here. So now you want to make sure that the t-shirt is, it shouldn't be too stretched also, because what can happen is if it is too stretched, the painting might look good, but the second you let loose, it will come together, or it will crumple up a little bit. So the proportions will go off in between. Just like that. I think a little lower should be fine. Like that. And now this I will take from here and take it all the way up. So now it's okay. See this line over here, there are two lines. One of them, this line over here, is a mistake, but I'll let it be since we are going to paint over it. Also, the drawing I had shown you earlier, this one, it's finally completed. So that's the final work. It is just a bit of a rough, a quick test, because it's been a while since I've really used watercolors. So I just wanted to try this out. Let me know what you think about it. Okay, now I'll take this one here. So for those of you who joined the morning workshop, you will know why I showed that. In case you've missed out on that one, go and have a look. It was quite an interactive one. And this one also I'll bring downwards. So from here, I'll take it down. So whenever you want to extend anything, right, like from here to here, never start from this point. Start from top and then bring it down. It will look a lot more natural. Because sometimes what can happen is you just draw this down and then it will look like you've attached a separate piece to it. Here. And then this also I'll bring down like that. Okay, now this side what I will do is I will make a lotus here. Maybe a bit bigger. So you see, whenever I'm drawing, right, I'm just going from top to bottom mostly. Sometimes I'll go from bottom to the top, but mostly I will keep it top to bottom, or I will draw from top to the bottom. That's because, see, when I go up, the shirt gets a bit wrinkled, but when I go from top to bottom, for some reason it doesn't. And then the same thing here. Yeah. Okay. Now I'll draw the same part over here onto the right side. But this will be a little smaller because it's being hidden behind the body. like that. That's, I think, a bit too high. I'll just take this a little lower. Yeah. And then from here, I'll have a stem go down. And then a bud on this side. Yeah. Now I can start drawing the facial features. Like this over there. That, I think, is a bit too low. Let me see. I'm not sure how much exactly would be erased. Okay. You know what? Let's adapt. Now, in case you make a mistake, what I'll do here is I will just draw over this. Then I'll have the eyebrows like that. And then this head, I will take it much higher. Same thing here. Now, I'm not worried about, the mistakes or whatever. That is because I'm going to be painting over it. So it's not going to matter whether I make a big mistake or not. Yeah, that's looking so much better. And then this side, so if you have any questions regarding painting or anything art related, you can ask me, and if I know the answer to it, hopefully I know the answers to all of them, I will, help you out in whatever way I can. Over here, and then this side. Now I'll have another bud over here. Yeah, that seems good enough. Now we can start with the painting. Before I get to that, hold on. Okay, so how can we make art? We make art as a profession from passion if we are not from the art background. Okay, so again, there are many things when it comes to the art field. So one, what you can do is, if you have maybe some teaching experience, what you can do is you can even start teaching, from little kids, and then as you get more confident with teaching, you can then start teaching maybe adults as well. So that is one option. And then besides that, wait 1 second. Yeah. So along with teaching, what you can do is you can also try freelancing. Now, freelancing is something that takes time. You would need to, start to build like a sort of trust. And by trust, what do I mean is you need to start with the people around you. You can, make paintings to them. What you can do is you can start by making maybe 1 or 2 free paintings, and ask them to share it to the people that they know. And you would even need to know the type of people that are there in your community, whether they are people who are willing to buy art, and if they are willing to buy, how much are they willing to buy it for, and then you would need to adjust your cost. So you have that also. And if you have a bit of experience on painting on larger scales, you can go for painting murals. You can go for small cafes, or maybe for someone's house. You can, if you want to create like a portfolio, you can start by painting your own room. Paint a wall, or paint maybe the door of your cupboard, or maybe just your door. Click a picture of that, post it on social media. And social media also plays quite a big role in this, because if you need to market yourself, again, one thing about being an artist is you not only need to be an artist, you need to be a marketer for yourself. You need to be a salesperson also. So it's when you try to do it, by yourself, you have to be more than, just an artist. You need to be, again, like I said, in sales, so that you can sell your paintings properly. You need to be a bit of someone who's into marketing, so that you can market yourself. And then you can even try putting your work for exhibitions, or maybe painting competitions. Because there are quite a few places that have these painting competitions. You can put your work there, and then some of them have award prizes also. So there are many aspects to this. You need to see what style of art do you excel in. Sometimes maybe it's portraiture, maybe it is landscape, full figure, maybe cartoon or comics or anime, maybe murals, maybe graffiti. So there are many categories when it comes to art. You need to know which category do you fall under, see which is your strongest point, and then try to market yourself from there. So I hope that in a way answers your question, because there is no like a hack to becoming big just like that. Because even if you ask a big artist, or maybe a world famous artist, how he did it, just because you have the answer of how he did it doesn't mean it's going to be the same for you. So you need to figure out your own essence, you could say, and you would need to market that. I hope that gives you some sort of an answer. Okay, so now I will start painting this area here, which I'm using acrylic paints for this painting. Yeah. So I'm using acrylic paints. Now this looks a little too bluish, but it's slightly kind of a teal color, kind of a turquoise color. And if you see, the shirt is absorbing this paint quite easily. So we'll need to be a bit smart as to how we paint this. Okay, I'm glad I can answer. I was able to give you a good answer. If you really want to market yourself, Instagram is the best place, because everyone is on Instagram. And if you're able to, get the algorithm right on your reels, then you can, really kick off your art profession. Like that. I think what I can do, right, is I'll leave this background for later. I'll start with the much finer details first, because this is going to take some time. That we can finish later on, taking our own time. We'll finish the main portions first. Okay, so what I will do is I will take some burnt sienna. Move this to the side. This is all dry paint, in case you're wondering. I have a habit of peeling the dry paint out. So I'll start off with a little bit of white. Maybe take a little more, because this is cotton and it really absorbs the paint. And I exaggerated that absorb because that is how much it actually does. So I've taken barely a dot. Now I'll mix it into this. I want a very subtle brown. Be careful of your hand. So I think what we can do, right, is it's better to not mix too much water into your paint, because now the paint as it is pretty thick. So rather than it being absorbed, it is staying on the top. Like this. So now this is not just white, there's a very little hint of brown. So Janaki, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Janaki. So what type of art do you do, or what type of art do you create? So you don't have to be, specialized in everything, or you don't have to be painting everything that is there. If you can paint everything, that is good, but you do not have to paint, anything and everything. Like for me, I'm more Okay, I will just paint for another 5 minutes or so, and then I will switch to the other mic. Now I'll take a little bit of brown, just a tiny bit, very little, and I will mix it into the white. Okay, and I am back. So most likely die one more time, but we manage. Okay, so now what I've done is I mixed a little bit more brown into this white, and I have made the shadows over here. Very subtle, very soft. They aren't, very dark. It is still pretty bright. So if you want to see how bright exactly it is, I have this green color here. If I put a bit of it, you can see it is still bright. But over here, oops, you can see how dark it is. And that is color theory. What may look dark in one color or with one color will look very bright with the other. Let's put a little bit of shadow here. Okay, now I think we are done with over here also we have just a little bit. I'll clean my brush. Okay, I'll take a little bit of this white paint that I initially took. I'll just go for a second layer over this. And the reason why I'm doing that is because the pencil mark that was there below it is still, slightly visible. So due to that, I'm just adding another coat to it, or another layer to it. That's already looking really nice. Okay, now what we can do is we can go for the hair. So I will take a black color. Okay, let me see. Or you know what, we'll go for blue, not black just yet. Black will go towards the end. I'll put a bit of blue there. Let me put it down and see how it is. I think it's a bit dark, so I'll just add a little bit of white. And we'll mix a little bit of water, because it depends on the paint, how thick it is, or maybe how easily it spreads. I'm trying to find the right words to say it, otherwise the term we would use is the viscosity of the paint. Yeah, that is okay. I'll put this down here. Same thing this side. Okay, so we'll paint this entire part blue, but what I will also do is I will keep a little bit of white over here in between, so I know where to paint black. So I'll keep it very subtle. I won't just leave the entire area white. If you can see, it's very thin, very subtle. Now just make sure you don't stretch the shirt too much, or else what can happen is it will overstretch and then it will look very bad, and we do not want that to happen. We take a little bit of water. And then this side. So if you want to do like an outline, right, then you can add a bit of water, because then what will happen is it will very easily absorb. See, like this. I'm using only the tip of the brush. So whenever I paint large areas, I like to give it an outline first and then start painting it. And the reason why I emphasized on the eye is because there are many ways to paint it. Like the way I show you is not the only way. Once you keep painting, you might have a way that you find comfortable. So what I had done is I had tried different methods, what I've seen, what I've observed, what I googled, and then eventually I just stuck to this. Like that. That looks great. Okay, so I'll take a bit more of this paint. Now we still have the right side to do. Is my voice still not coming? Okay, it is still there. Okay, great. I'll take, yeah, up until here. Again, I'll take this paint again. Now I'll do the outline. There you go, like that. And then a little bit here. I really like how the face turned out. It looks so nice, it looks so fresh. Now, hearing me say fresh might sound a bit weird, but at least when I was in college, whenever we painted, right, we always focused on fresh colors. We had fresh colors and we had dull colors. So fresh colors would be something like this. This wouldn't fall in the category of dull. Dull would be like when you mix black and it looks a little chalky or it looks a little pale. That's what we call a dull color. So this, if you see, it looks very vibrant, it looks very fresh. So that's where the term that I use, fresh, or that is why I use the term fresh, rather. I was going to say that's where it derived from, but that is not where it derived from. I don't know the history of it. But yeah. Okay. I have this ready, and now I can go for the red color. So I'll clean my brush. Okay, I cleaned my brush and now I will take some red. Make sure you mix it, especially if you have this liquid type of acrylic. Make sure you mix it before you put it down. Okay, so this red that I'm using, let me check what type of red is it exactly. Okay, so this is a coral red that I'm using right now, but what I would recommend is using a bit of a crimson or a scarlet red. That would give you a much proper kind of red. Now since I have this type of red, I don't have much of a choice. But I think when you buy when you buy paints or a set of acrylic paints, you normally get crimson red in it. Okay, now I'll start painting this area here. So if you see, painting on a shirt is very different as compared to painting on a canvas. And that is because, now see, both are cloth, correct? But when you look at the shirt, it is absorbing the paint very easily. It is not sitting on top, it is getting absorbed into the cloth. Whereas a canvas would make the paint sit on top, it wouldn't absorb it entirely. And one of the reasons why that does happen is because canvas is covered or primed with something called or known as gesso. So that acts as a layer between the canvas and the paint. Yeah, so that acts as a layer between the canvas and the paint. And it stops the canvas from being, hyper absorbent. And the reason I say hyper is because this shirt right now is just sucking the paint like it's drinking juice. It's not letting it sit on top. This. Just spread the paint nicely. And try to make sure that every part of it is covered. Like there shouldn't be any spots of white in between. Now if you want also, what you can do is you can prime your shirt with gesso, which you get at a stationery where you normally get like quite a lot of paints. Your normal stationery wouldn't have it, so you'll have to go to the big ones. And don't get anything fancy if at all you do go to buy. Any normal brand would work. There's no need to go for the most expensive one. Because I made that mistake initially when I started painting. I went for this really expensive brand where I got a set of 11 for the price of I think 24 paints of the normal one. like that. Now on screen or on camera it is a bit saturated. Let me adjust it. Okay, so this is more realistic as to what I am painting, or more color accurate. That's a bit too much. Yeah, that seems to be better. Yes, I'll just cover these areas. Okay, now I'll take a bit of this red and mix it in white. Like this. So now there was a bit of brown in the white, but since it was very less, it isn't going to really matter that much. Over here, I'll just very roughly cover this up, because again I'm going to add a few white strokes to it. I think what we can do is we can have a part 1 and part 2 for this workshop, because I don't think I will finish this in one session. So we can have a part 1 and part 2 for it. Not confirmed yet, but we'll see how it goes. Put the same color for the lips. Just be a little bit careful. Like that. That seems good enough. And then over here, like that. A bit this side, a bit here. Okay. Now what I will do is I will take a little bit of this background color that I had initially taken, and I will mix a little bit of white into it. So I have this color here, this background color. I will just mix it into a little bit of white. Oh, okay, there seems to be some red color paint still in my brush, which dulled it out. So I'll take some white paint again. And there you can see the difference between this and this. I'll just put a little bit of this color here and take maybe a little bit more. Oh, that seems to be a little too much. And then darken this a tiny bit. Give us some eyeshadow. Okay, now I'll take my white color, only white, no other color. Okay, guys, so we will end the stream over here. We'll count this as day 1, and then we'll have another session of day 2 that we will keep in the coming week. So I was supposed to give an announcement over here, but I will do that in the day 2 of this workshop. So stay tuned for that announcement. It is a very exciting one. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will continue this next time. Take care and bye-bye.